lovers, welcome back to my channel. Here is another pattern drafting tutorial on how to draft and cut this trending stylish dress. In this video tutorial, I will walk you through step by step on how to draft and cut this stylish off-shoulder head neckline dress with Basque effect. Watch till the end to learn the new and simple pattern drafting and cutting process of this dress. Like, comment and share with your friends. And if you have any question regarding to this tutorial, do well to drop it on the comment section. I will be there to attend to you. To start off with this video tutorial, on my pattern paper here is my shoulder line, my bust line, under bust line, waistline, hip line, and my hemline. Okay, then from my shoulder line here to my bust point is 10 inches, down to my under bust is 13 inches, to my waistline is 16 inches, down to my hip line is 26 inches. Okay, and the length of this pattern paper is 36 inches, and that is what we are working with. Okay, then while cutting on your fabric, you can as well take it down to your desired length. Then the next thing that we are going to do here is to take our shoulder measurement. So coming over to our shoulder line, my shoulder measurement here is 16 inches divided by 2 is going to give me 8 inches. So I'm going to mark 8 inches here at my shoulder line, which is this point. Okay, then from my marked point, I'll be going down here by 1 inch to mark my shoulder slope point. And from my shoulder slope point here, I'll be moving down by 7 inches to mark my armhole length. Okay, so I'll go ahead and draw a straight line across my marked points. Then the next thing to do here is to take our neckline. Okay, our neckline width. So for my neckline width here, I'll be making use of 3.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark my 3.5 inches point. Then I'll connect my shoulder slope point to my 3.5 inches neckline width point. After that, the next thing to do here is to create our armhole curve. What I have here is 7 inches and my midpoint here is 3.5 inch. So I'm going to mark my midpoint. From my midpoint here, I'm going to come in here by 0.5 inch, which is this point. Okay, then to my chest line here, which is this line that you're seeing over here, I'm going to take my bust circumference. So my bust circumference of 35 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 8.8 inches. Okay, so I'm going to mark my 8.8 inches point here. Okay, then add extra 1.5 inch hemming allowance, which is here. So I'm going to connect these 3 points together, okay, to create my armhole curve. After that, the next thing that we are going to do here is to take our nipple to nipple measurement. So my nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches divided by 2 is going to give me 4 inches. So coming over to my chest line here, I'm going to take my nipple to nipple point, which is 4 inches, down to my hip line. Okay, so I'm going to mark 4 inches. The next thing that we are going to do here is to create our dart. Okay, our dart leg. So for our dart leg, coming over to my bust line, my bust point here, I'm going to go down here by 1 inch. Okay, which is this point here. Then at my under bust line, I'm going to take my dart space of 1.5 inch. Okay, so I'm going to take 0.5 inch dart space at my center front and 1 inch at my side seam. Okay, which will give me a total dart space of 1.5 inch. Okay, so I'll repeat the same step at my waistline. Then I'll go ahead and connect my marked point. Then I'll take down my dart leg to my hip line. Okay, just the way you see me doing it here. So this is it. Then the next thing that we are going to do here is to take our shoulder dart. Okay, so coming over to our shoulder line here, I'm going to divide what I have here. What I have here is 4.5 inch. So my midpoint here is 2.2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to mark 2.2 inches. Then I'm going to draw a straight line to meet my nipple to nipple point. Then after that, I'm going to take 1/2 inch from my center front, okay, which is this side. I'm going to take 1/2 inch here. Then I'm going to take 1 inch from my side seam side, okay. Then from my bust line here, my bust point, which is this point, I'm going to go up by 1/2 inch, okay, 1/2 inch. Then I'll go ahead and connect my dart legs. Then the next thing that we're going to do here is to take our side dart. Okay, so coming over to my bust line, I'm also going to go down here by 1 inch. Can you see what I'm doing? I went down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect it like this, okay, to meet my bust point. Then here I'll go ahead now to take my basic body measurements. Okay, coming over to my bust line, my bust circumference of 35 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 8.8 inches, which is this point here. Then for my dart space here is 1.5 inch. Okay, so I will add it up here, 1.5 inch here, then plus my hemming allowance of 1 inch, okay, which is this point. Okay, then down to my underbust. My underbust circumference is 29 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 7.2 inches. So I'm going to mark 7.2 inches here. Then my dart space here is 1.5 inch. Okay, so I'll add my dart space of 1.5 inch, which is this point. Then add my 1 inch hemming allowance, which is this point here. Okay, to my waistline, my waist circumference is 30 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 7.5 inch. Okay, so I'll mark my 7.5 inch, add my dart space of 1.5 inch, okay, plus my 1 inch hemming allowance. Down to my hip line, my hip circumference is 38 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5 inch. Okay, I'll mark my 9.5 inch point, then add 1 inch hemming allowance here. Okay, then I'll go ahead to connect all my marked points. Also, down to my hem line, I'm also going to take what I have here at my hip circumference. So what I have here is 10.5 inch. So I'm going to mark 10.5 inch here at my hem line, which is this point here. Okay, then the next thing to do here is to create our Basque effect. Okay, and to do that, coming over to our waistline, I'll be going down here by 3.5 inch, which is this point here. Okay, so I'm going to make a slant line to meet my hip point, which is here. Okay, then the next thing to do here is to create our pleated gathers. At my hip line, I'm going to create my pleated gathers using 1 inch. Okay, so I'll be marking 1 inch. Then I'll go ahead and draw a straight line. So guys, the next thing to do here is to determine how covered we want our dress neckline to be. So from my shoulder line, I'll be going down by 6.5 inches, mark my point, then draw a straight line across my marked point. This line here will serve as my neckline. So I'll be extending my dart legs to meet my neckline, just the way you see me doing it here in this video. I also did the same for the other side of my bust here. Then the next thing to do here is to create our stylish cut together arm. Okay, so and to do that, I went ahead to attach 3-inch piece of pattern paper to my pattern paper as to draft our cut together arm. Okay, so and to do that, I'm going to place my curve ruler to meet with my neckline point. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? I placed my curve ruler like this, then I'm going to trace it out. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? I'll be tracing it out like this. I'll also place my curve ruler like this, meeting up with my armhole curve. Okay, then I'm going to take it like this. Okay, trace it out like this. So guys, here I readjusted my cut together traced arm to meet with my bustier dart line, and my cut together arm here is about 2 inches. Do the same if you are following me up. So I'll go ahead now to cut this out. So guys, after cutting for the front pattern, this is what you are going to have. Okay, if you love this video, subscribe to this channel, like, comment and share with your friends for more pattern drafting video tutorials. Then let's go ahead and cut for the back pattern. On my pattern paper here is my horizontal body measurements. Then the next thing to do here is to take our armhole. Okay, so coming over to my armhole line, I'm going to get my midpoint for my back pattern. Okay, so my midpoint here is 3.5 inch, which is this point. Then to mark for my armhole curve, I'm going to divide my bust circumference of 35 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 8.8 inches. So I'm going to mark my 8.8 inches point, then add 1.5 inch hemming allowance here. Okay, so I'm going to connect my armhole. The next thing to do here is to take our dart. Okay, so coming over to my bust line, I'm going to mark 4 inches, which is my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So I'm going to mark 4 inches from my bust line down to my hip line. Okay, to create my dart legs, coming over to my waistline, I'm going to take 1 inch from both sides. Okay, so I'm going to mark 1 inch here and 1 inch here. Okay, then I'm going to connect my dart leg to meet my chest line point, nipple to nipple point, then at my hip nipple to nipple point. Okay, the next thing to do here is to take our basic body measurements. So coming over to my chest line, coming over to my bust line, my bust circumference of 35 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 8.8 inches. So I'm going to mark 8.8 inches point here. Remember, we used a dart space of 2 inches here. Okay, so I'm going to add it up here, my dart space, then add 1 inch hemming allowance here. Okay, down to my underbust. My underbust circumference is 29 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 7.2 inches. So I'm going to mark 7.2 inches here, then also add my that space of 2 inches, then add 1 inch hemming allowance. Okay, to my waistline, my waist circumference is 30 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 7.5 inch. Okay, so I'll mark my 7.5 inch point here, then add my that space of 2 inches. Okay, then add 1 inch hemming allowance. Down to my hip line, my hip circumference is 38 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5 inch, 9.5 inch. Okay, so I'll mark 9.5 inch point here, then add my hemming allowance here. Okay, I'll be taking 2 inches here as my hemming allowance. Then I'll measure what I have here at my hip line. So what I have here is 11.5 inch. Then I'm going to take it down at my hem line, which is this point here. Okay, then I'll go ahead and connect all my marked points. Then the next thing to do here is to take our Basque effect. Okay, so for our Basque effect, I'll be going down here from my waistline. I'll be going down here by 3.5 inch, just the same way we did for the front pattern. Then I'm going to connect it to meet my hip line. Okay, so this is it. Okay, then the next thing to do here is I'm going to create my pleats, and for my pleats I'll be using 1 inch for my pleated gathers. Okay, so I'll be marking 1 inch here. So guys, this is it. Then the next thing to do here is to take for our off shoulder for the back pattern. Okay, then for the off shoulder back pattern of this dress, coming over to my chest line, I'm going to move down here by 1 inch. Okay, I'll be moving down here by 1 inch, which is this point here. Then from my chest line, I'm going to make a curve. I'm going to make a curve to meet my point, 1 inch marked point here. So guys, this is all for our back pattern. Then I'm going to go ahead now to cut this out. Okay, so guys, after cutting for our back pattern, this is what we have here. Okay, then while cutting on your fabric, do well to add your zipper allowance of 1 inch. I didn't get to add it here, okay, because I don't have enough pattern paper. Okay, finally guys, after drafting for both the front and the back pattern, this is what I have. If you love this video, do well to hit on the subscription button, subscribe to this channel, like, comment and share with your friends. And if you have any question regarding to this tutorial, drop it on the comment section. I will be there to attend to you. Bye, and see you on my next video tutorial.